here with Creezon, a rapper, writer, producer from Birmingham. Feel free to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you and your start in music.
Yeah, man, I'm Creezon. I just call myself a frequency magician. I like to just create magical things that you can hear. But yeah, man, when did I start? It's a hard one to answer that because I feel like it's just something that's within me. I don't think it's something that started at a certain point. Well, there was a point where I started recording, which was 15. I was at the youth club, the Pump Youth Club. Many people don't know this, but me, T Rhodes, and a couple other guys actually used to go to that place. So it's like a spot, history spot. But I used to go there, record music. But I'll be real, that was just the outlet for something I already had within me.
hmm And as your music like fuses hip hop, grime, neo soul, who would you say your top influences are from those genres?
I'd say the first artist that I actually enjoyed, to be fair, was Busta Rhymes. He was like the first like taste I got of hip hop, like personally, and he's cold. I love his music. Who else? I'd say grime wise, definitely Gets, Dot Rotten, Ice Kid, like those three. I'd say in order of statement is the order of influence as well. I think those guys sick, very very great. I think those three for me are what sparks my love for grime
hmm
in the way that they're so artistic of what they do. Um, and for neo soul, I like a bit of D'Angelo recently. Um, Lauren Hill in that kind of vibes, and also Hiatus Coyote. I think they're amazing as well.
Yeah, it's sick hearing your influences because in your rap style, you can hear the influence of Get and you can
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
the
yeah.
influence of those artists, and it's sick to see like your interpretation and fusing all of those together. Starting with like your first ever project, Present State, that came out in 2021. Releasing
Mm.
that first album, where was you at mentally, and what made you want to create the project at that time?
That was a deep state for me. That was when I was in college. I was clocking a lot of things about life. I just realizing how everything's just like connected. Like I was like, hold on, me, I'm part of it. Like I already knew, but you know when it comes to you and you're like, raw, life is deep, and you start to, I don't know, speaking for myself, I was just diving into a lot of ancient wisdom, and that just like became some superpowers that I had, like understanding the world in a certain way, applying it to my creativity. I was like, okay, this is how the universe works. So then, obviously, cool. I thought, let me put that into music because this is what I'm learning, and I'm 16 years old. No one ain't gonna believe me. Let me just print it in history. That's how I was seeing it. So I thought, if I can just, be a young philosopher, it would help me in terms of my legacy.
Yeah, I definitely want to ask you more about that later of like your belief system and manifestation and your spirituality. But going back to that album, your first track being Roots, how would you say your roots shaped your musicality?
Mm, I think there's so many layers to this because obviously, let's say the obvious roots would be the UK, Birmingham, like in a sense of that is a root of where I'm from. It's a home base, and that's definitely influenced my style. Just having the accent, having the influence of grime, drill, UK rap. It's just it is an influence. It's like a template that you can use. Um, but in terms of my actual roots, in terms of me being Kititian, Jamaican, and Nigerian. I'm mixed with those three. I think a lot of my influence does come from my Caribbean side in a sense of sonically, I really like dub, like reggae and dub, and I like the swing of that music. And I definitely put that swing into my own music, that kind of like just the heartbeat of the music. Like, yeah, I'd say that.
That is a sick answer. I always love finding out like everybody obviously comes from so many different places. And it's crazy when you listen to people's projects where you can hear that influence not only from your artist but your own experiences. Moving on to where you was at releasing that project, you said you first got into the studio when you was about 15, you released that around 16, 17. In that creation of the project, where was you at mentally? I know you kind of touched up on it, but what was the inspiration behind that whole process?
Well, a lot was going on. Like, I felt like a lot was going on in terms of, once again, what I was finding out about life and my belief system, how I see my paradigm of life. that was basically the main driving force. But I think also kind of becoming more of a man a little bit. I guess at that age, you're kind of becoming a man. So it's like certain things I talk about in that were like even like relationship, like you know what I'm saying? It was very reflective of what I was going through at the time. And I think every time I make music, it's quite reflective of how I'm going through at the time. And I definitely had that naivety in a sense that not naivety, but less practical with the way that I saw life and more airy fairy. Do you know what I'm saying? A little bit more airy, but it still holds its place.
Yeah, would you say that's like what a lot of your beliefs are into, of just believing in the universe and the world and just having faith and strong core values?
I think, yeah, you put it in a nice way. I just think just being yourself and recognizing your life force because you're literally life. Like, you literally are life. And I feel like everything on top of that, all the distractions, all the things that you eat, all the bad stuff that you consume through all your five senses are kind of things that can cloud that life.
Hmm.
So remembering to just get rid of all of that sometimes and just come back to yourself in your mind. That's all I'm about.
Yeah. In your music, you blend obviously rap and also R&B with a bit of singing. What made you want to combine the two?
Just having the powers within me of doing both. Like I think growing up, I was singing a lot. Um, I used to go to a place in like Handsworth and do like play the piano and sing, and there was another place around there. So there's a lot in my roots of singing. To be fair, I used to sing the Jackson Five in my room and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
like it was just a thing. So it's like I've always had a voice, and obviously I love rap as well because I love the technicality of it and the way you can convey a message. So I thought if I blend them together, then it's even more magical.
Yeah, of course. Because
Mm.
I feel like some people they can't do the two, so you're really showcasing your talent of I can do a bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my favorite lyric probably of yours ever, yeah, the way you even delivered this lyric was just so hard for me. You said on this project, plus I ain't trying to find a ring for a wife, the most you'll get is a hula hoop. What made you want to say that?
I think you know what I was going through a bit of hurt, man. I think I think I was going through. I think I was going through a situation where like I was thinking, yo, I can't, I'm not doing this right now. Like, I just need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, that's just where I was at the time of my life, at 16 years old. Like, I must have just gone through a relationship that was just, I did. But big up to everybody, big up to everybody, big up.
Yeah, it's so funny, like kind of looking back at your work and hearing like those premature lyrics and thinking how it's evolved from now. How do you think that lyric, if you could rewrite it today, what would you say, or how would you explain it now?
First, I'm trying to find the best thing for my wife. It's not going to be a hula hoop. It's not gonna-
More evolved, more mature. Love
oh,
it.
yeah, just way more grounded in it. Like, I think just go through stages, in it, in life.
Yeah, of course. Moving on to your second project now, 1% of the 1% that released in 2023. Tell me about the creative process of that album.
1% of the 1%. That was just me firing off in so many directions, I'll be honest. That was me just like discovering that, like, okay, I can do this to a very high level. Like, that was literally that. Um, I had a tune on there called The Angel Meets a Demon. I don't know if you've heard that, but if you haven't, if you're someone that ever just thinks to yourself, like, what is life like? Yeah. I just kind of just that album was a real statement of me saying I have superpowers in this, and it
Mhm.
was just kind of, it was more for me, and that's the thing. Like this is where I'm more practical now in my delivery and my approach to things because a lot of this is emotional. A lot of the music I've released has been just an emotional outlet, but then you have to balance that with business.
Yeah, of course. Talking of like these belief systems you have, where did it start and where did you really like find, okay, this is exactly what I believe in and this is how I'm going to portray it to audiences, this is how I'm going to express myself. What did that journey look like to you?
It started off as a spark, like a flame, just within me, and it just from I was born. Do you know what I'm saying? If I can say it as simply as possible, I just feel like I've always, like, for example, I was like 8 years old, and I'd go upstairs, And I remember vividly, I was typing like, how many dimensions are there? And I was typing some mad questions into the internet at a very young age. So I've always been very questioning about things. So I say when like lockdown happened, when we all had a bit of time to just take things a bit slower, certain codes just came to me, like just certain realizations, and then I would find certain PDFs I'd read. And to be fair, it's all just life. It's all just me rediscovering that life is precious, and there's so many dimensions in that when you are in that frequency of curiosity, gratitude, just being in those natural states of being.
Yeah, of course. And I think those core values are just so important to human beings. I think life gets so hectic that you need to just remember that we are just on a floating rock and we're all just trying our best and, living
There
life.
we
And
go.
it's our first time doing everything.
There
You've
we go.
also like asked me about my religion, like Sikhism. What made you want to educate yourself in so many different religions and learn about different ways of life?
It's just cool to get a varied perspective because it gives you a bit more of an accurate one. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I feel like if you only think about it from one perspective, and you're never going to see the full picture.
Mm.
And I'm kind of trying to see the full picture. So I just feel like I appreciate learning different interpretations of the one thing, do you know what I mean, which is life.
Yeah.
Just different flavors, different colors. Like it's beautiful. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
In your research of different religions, what's one thing that you can take away that you've really valued from each sort of
Mm,
source?
that's a mad question. That's a deep question. I feel like for me with Christianity, because that's always been like the the thing that's been around me. Even my dad being a Jehovah's Witness, that's a different angle, but that's still Christianity, but a different angle of it. So, like in that whole Christian scape, I feel like I appreciate the emphasis on loving thy neighbor and just that being a real, just love. Like you get me. Like I think it just helps everybody if everybody has that kind of disposition, and everyone's just a bit more safe, just genuinely. Then obviously when it comes to things like Islam, I think the discipline of praying multiple times a day, fasting, I think all of that is very overlooked. I think it all just brings you back to your life once again, back to your life. So I rate that. I like Buddhism; it's cool as well. When I went to Thailand, I was chilling with some monks as well. To be fair, they were saying what are going to me, I was saying what are going to them, and yeah, it's just beautiful ways of seeing life. I just appreciate them all, but I don't personally attach myself to any of them. I stay being an observer and a practicer. You know what I mean? That's all I see it as personally.
Yeah. Do you think in the creation of this project specifically, it was more professionally made and it was more guided in those beliefs of maybe when you were younger, you was like finding it, and this
Mm.
is when you really solidified your beliefs, or do you think that came in later projects?
Oh, you talking about 1% of the 1%?
Yeah.
I think I was very sure of myself in the sense that I even had studio space that I co-ran with my partner. It was a mad, mad, mad journey. There were like so many people that came in that space, so much music that was created. It was just unbelievable. But like, yeah, even that time, like, I just feel like I felt more grounded once again in that stage, basically. Like, I had a studio, I was dealing with real life issues. So even though I had that spiritual sense about me where I'm talking about, I kind of had some more practical essence in there a little bit. But I'd say when we get onto grip hop, it's a much more grounded again approach. So,
We will get to Grip Hop. Let's just go back 1 second and let's go back to I'm the Avatar Volume 1 that
oh,
came out in 2022. So,
oh
what
my.
was the meaning behind that title and that whole project within itself?
I went to, okay, so I was working at, I'm going to go into depth, I was working at this place called Earth's Kitchen. If you know about that place in Brom, oh my gosh, they did great food. But after that, I was walking with a couple of my brethren, and one of my guys said, "Yo, you're the Avatar." It was my older brethren as well. Um, he said, "You're the Avatar." I was like, "Why?" It's like because you can do it all. And I was like, "I can do it all." Thank you for the compliment. I just kind of ran with it. The Avatar, I kind of just, and it's funny because I'd never watched the Avatar before that. I'd watched it in bits growing up, but I'd never actually watched it. But I've actually watched it now, and it was a good watch. Talk about the Airbender. Yeah, I've watched that series
Mhm.
and that's really good.
Yeah, because they just released a new one. Was it last year or something? The series.
Don't even know. Is it like a real life one?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah. They did like
Oh,
a live action.
I don't like that.
Oh, only the animation.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that project specifically, you really showcase like rapping, producing, writing, mixing, and mastering. What made you want to flex all your talents in that project?
Just survival mode. It was just me doing what I could. Like, like I didn't have the funds to at the time, especially being young, like younger. Like I didn't like I had to do it all myself. It was like a learning curve for me saying like, yo, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to do this. Like, and it's not even something that came unnatural to me. It was something that came natural. I just
Mhm.
thought I have to learn all of this. Plus, everyone around me has these skills. Like I'm surrounded by musicians, so it's kind of impossible not to. I literally had a job where I was mixing and mastering, so it made it easier for me.
Yeah. Out
Mm.
of all of the skills that you learned from that project, which one do you think was the hardest to master?
Mixing is the hardest of my stuff, definitely, definitely, because when you're dealing with mixing, you're dealing with frequencies, you're dealing with like the actual science behind the music, and that goes on forever. That's just deep, deep, deep. And then you're comparing that to how you like what you prefer. Like it's kind of like your opinion goes with logic, and it's like you have to get a good balance of that to really master. It's not my thing, and it like mixing is not my
Oh, yeah.
thing. I like it, but it's not my thing, and it like I'm an artist, bro. I'm an artist. Like, I don't want to be looking at the computer all day like that.
Is that something you definitely learned from being forced to do it in this project?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mm. So you wouldn't do it again?
I would do it again, but I'd rather just outsource and get some proper engineers to do it for
Well,
me.
that's fair. You tried it. It's not really for you.
Yeah, I'll do it when I need to.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
In that project as well, you have many features. What do you look for in a collaborator?
Someone that knows how to let go and just flow in their craft, not people that are like trying to prove like they're some type of person. Like, and you can just see through the disguise. Like, I want to hear you and your natural bounce on the rhythm, like, or whatever it is, your natural flow on the rhythm. Like, just it has to be someone that's really in tune with their art. It can't be no fugazi brothers. You know what I mean?
And have you got any like stories from the collaboration process of that album?
Yeah, actually, because this is how on job I was. I think I was about 17 at the time or 18, 17, 18 at the time. So I was literally calling up Triller, for example, saying, yo, do you want to go studio? Going studio, making the track, going home, mixing it, going to work, mixing it, like it was an actual process. So when I say called up Triller, Jermaine Triller, let's get like jump on this one's different. That actually happened. Like Triller has this one's different as one of his bars. And I had that bar, I'm different, different from when I was in youth club. So it just came together and merged together, and we made that track different to different. So there are a couple, like I could literally go through all seven and tell you the story behind all seven, but it's too long.
Tell me like your top stories from like any song on there that you think really like showcased to you or was like a highlight to you. Feel free to
Mm,
go through that story of what happened, what was the collaboration process, how did it come about?
mm, mm. Damn, okay. Probably the one I could say most about. Probably Take It Back. I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah.
But that track, I was really proud of that beat. I was more in like the drill era of myself. Like the sound was more drilly a little bit. Um, but I linked up with a guy called Paper Mills. M gets paid, and he actually went to the same youth club as me. Sees once again that youth club, and I used to see him coming in and out, but I never actually spoke to him. But he was like always just on his own, just on his own, and I used to kind of rate it of like he comes to the studio on his own and goes. So obviously we stayed in contact, and God knows how, but we just ended up making that tune together. I must have just I must have put it in my notes or something like make a tune with it and gets paid or something like that, and I just fulfilled it when I made that tune. That's how my process usually is. But then after that, the last part, there was a remix that I did with Vante because I did a challenge for that beat, and like whoever won would have got to get on the remix. Vante got on the remix, and from then me and Vante been brethren. So it's a mad one how music can connect people like that.
Yeah, that is sick. It's crazy how like so many things are intertwined and connected. Talking
Mhm.
of that youth club, of course, like recently youth clubs have been shutting down. What do you think is the importance of keeping those institutions open and funding them?
Too important, man, because I think it just gives you direction. Help me have direction. Just gave me somewhere to go, like after school and whatever. Like it's just too much youths that are doing. They don't know where to put their energy. That's what it is. Like you got energy as a youth. Like you got a lot of ripe energy. It's like you need to put it into something. Like that's what I think. So I think the youth club was a good outlet for that. It's gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100. Moving
Mm.
on to your EP that you released at the start of this year, Grip Hop. How did those songs come about? What's the story behind that?
That's maturity. That is that EP to me was my maturity. And I think my musical maturity. I came away from I kind of completely came away from what I feel like is trending, and I kind of just thought I might as well develop a niche because me and my people have a sound, and I'm talking like my close people. Like I've got a close friendship of brothers, and we're all very creative. Like we grew up like breakdancing together, like music and all that stuff. It's always been in it. So like we have a sound, and it's like because we grew up on hip hop, and then we also learned to appreciate grime later on. We all went through that. So our sound is like a mixture of that and any other influences that we have as well. So I kind of just went into myself, into my circle, into my own space, and said, let me create from right here, like nothing else. Like so, that's when I had the studio, locked myself away, basically, and made a lot of those tracks.
That is sick to hear. What was your introduction to grime and what made you want to do grime? Because I feel like when we were younger, grime was so successful from Skepta or JME, everyone. And now everybody's doing it, but it doesn't have much like mainstream connection anymore. But it's great that people are still keeping it alive because it's a sick genre. What was your first introduction to it and what made you want to keep it alive?
I reckon my first introduction of grime ever was when me and my cousin Callum, we used to literally chill in his dad's living room, and he used to put on grime beats. It used to say like grime in like graffiti, but I didn't know what grime was. I just knew that it said grime. But later on, as I realized that the music I'm hearing is called grime, I'm like, oh, that was that. So like I was listening to it myself, like Chip, JME, um, and then I discovered Gets later on after that, and that became my favorite MC. And then like I discovered what I already knew, but like I just kind of started getting influenced by loads of different MCs, like, and I was like, yeah, this I like the way that the flow of grime flows over the tempo. Like it doesn't exist like that anywhere else. Every other flow, like a trap flow, no, 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 hey, no, 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 no. It's not the same as when you can just flow over the beat like that and you spit in like that. Like it's not the same. Like so, I was like, I like how open it feels as an outlet of my expression. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Grime is sick because it originated in the UK and it is
Mm-hmm.
like a genre with no bounds. And it makes me so upset as somebody who grew up listening to grime that it's not as like mainstream popular anymore, but it needs to be. Like, I really love the fact that you guys are still keeping it alive, still doing it. It needs to be done. I don't know if you watch like, do you know who Alhan is? He's like an influencer. He has like he had a show. It's not like Boiler Room, but he basically said that grime was dying in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else was arguing of like, no, it's not. Everybody's still doing it. What do you think about that? Do you think grime is dying in the UK?
Not as simple as any of those answers, I reckon. I think what I think is bad is that the narrative of grime is dead keeps on being put out. Because if you keep saying, even if you keep saying it's not dead, you're still talking about grime being dead. So there's no point even saying any of it. It's all everyone needs to be shut up. Yeah. What it is that grime everything needs to change, and it like that's just life. Like a flower's gonna grow and it's gonna change. It doesn't mean it has to completely change flower, but it can grow some new petals. It can grow some new colors. It can just transform into a different sound, which is why when I'm making things like grip up, or when I see things like neo grime or mellow grime, that to me is grime evolving into something that is gonna fit now. We can't be keeping on shouting, no, 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 if it's not how the kids sound today. Do you get me? If it's not how people my age and below feel, in society, then how is it going to be the flame of society? It has to change.
You're spitting. I love it. No, it's so true. Like grime is such a sick genre, and you guys are doing your thing. I highly, highly respect it. I feel like we need more people backing the new
Hmm.
youngers of grime because it is just such a sick genre, and we need more platforms for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
That EP, you balance songs like Chosen One and When It Rains, two songs that have two completely different sounds. How did you go about exploring different themes on one project?
Chosen one, when it rains. So yeah, when it rains, start with that one because that one's a more emotional one. Um, I was on the way to Canada and I heard someone say like apparently that if you're on a plane and you do something creative, you get more creativity because you're high in the air, high altitude. So I thought, safe, let me try it. And I was thinking, what creation do I put this into? Okay, let me put it into When It Rains. So I put it into When It Rains. And yeah, like it's literally just a song about family structure, the divided family structure because of struggle. You know what I'm saying? And that meant a lot to me. But then the way that I could have another tune like Chosen One as well, I think what's blending them songs is actually just the sonic quality of it, how it sounds. Like it's literally just how it sounds because it's grip up, because it's all in the same genre. These multiple different expressions of the same one genre can exist within the same space. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like just because they're not completely different sounding things, they can still exist in the same place whilst having a different meaning, like a different color. Do you know what I mean? Basically.
It is so sick how you explain that. I can't ever lie because it is true. It is the same genre, but you can change it and make it so like interchangeable between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all your like main projects, how would you say your music has evolved from your first drop to your most recent?
Mm. Mm. I think my most recent is like speaking to me in a way that I've never been spoke to from myself before. It's like I've spoke to myself in a way that I've never spoke to myself, and it's in a way of like realization. Because when I was in the, even when I was in the youth club back in the day when I was like 15, I used to like have melodies in my head, and like when I used to hear people making beats, I think I would do that with it. I would do that. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I've become that version that does that with it. Like I've, it's kind of like it was always in me, like that grip up kind of sound, like the heaviness of it, whilst it's still so elegant and the, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's always been within me, but you have to get to a level where you can create it, like skill wise. And I think that's when I got to a skill level that was like, yeah, I'm just floating now. I'm just floating now, type of thing.
Going back to like manifestation and your core beliefs, do you believe in manifestation? What does that process look like to you?
I can't. I think no matter whether or not I believe in manifestation, it exists because manifestation is just bringing something into this reality, this physical reality. Like if I'm thinking about a door, I'm gonna manifest it by going and buying a door. Like it's just that simple. Or I could describe it as a raindrop that turns from evaporation into a raindrop into an ice cube through a process. Like it's just going through a process and reaping the rewards from it. Um, and I've done that in a few ways. And I think the most interesting way I've done that recently is I drew when I was in college. I drew a picture of a tree saying "No laws to infinity" underneath it. A couple of years after that, I had no law studio. Now I'm in a house and I've got a studio in my room. Like I literally my house like is manifested and a tree, the one that I drew, is on the door. So it's like it's like so it's like I think you can attach things to thoughts in a sense of like you can attach like a drawing to your thoughts and like it can just be part of it, like a mascot that carries you through, and that's another way of manifesting that I think has helped
Yeah.
me.
In like your future of music and what you want to create, what's one thing you want to manifest in music?
It's very specific, man. I want to manifest like a community of, and it's called the U Army. Do you know what I'm saying? It's called the U Army, and I don't even have to explain it. But a community of people that just on self mastery and good music, like a community. It could be 10,000 people, it could be 25, it could be 100,000 people. But what's most important to me is a core fan base because I want to be able to share my art and transform people's souls, you know what I'm saying, in a good way and help people to just see life in a better way because we're living in a hard system, you get it? So we need some type of outlet and I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I want to serve as that.
Love it. Speak it into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And from your most recent release, Clean Energy featuring Vente, how did that collab come about and what did you want to express in that song?
Mm. We're in the studio, me and Vante. Ty sent me the beat, my brethren Ty. Man, I was just thought, yo, this beat's great. This is mad beat still. Like I like this beat, so I just thought Vante is the only person that can spin this with me because he's such an artist. You know what I mean, he knows how to bend to a track. He knows how to make a song, not just spit. So we made that song, got melodic on it. I mixed it down. Quite proud of that mix. And yeah, like clean energy, but I think the meaning behind it was literally just keeping your energy clean because that's what brings you more close to life, as I said earlier.
Love to hear it. Are you ready for some quick fire questions?
I don't think so, I'll be honest.
Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, first question. If you were a
Uh,
boxer, what would your ring walk song be?
it would be chosen one.
I love that you picked yours. I love that. If you were in a food fight, what would your food of choice be?
Watermelon.
If money didn't exist, what would you do for a living?
I would I would make music, do martial arts, and yeah, that's it.
What childhood movie shaped you as a child?
Hmm. I want to say you got served. Do you know about that one?
Let me Google that real quick because why
Yeah,
does it
Google that.
sound familiar?
Google
I
that.
can't
Google that.
remember what it is.
Mm.
You got served. What is it about?
It's a breakdance movie.
Oh, I do remember that. I need to rewatch this. This is like a deep cut I haven't watched in years.
Yeah.
Good pick. Okay, death roll meal. Starters, main, sides, desserts.
What about this still? Starter would have to be Death Row Milk. Yo, the starter's gonna have to be some like seeded grapes. Yeah, some seeded grapes. Yeah, some coconut water. Then I'm gonna have some sweet potato, some rice and peas, ackee and saltfish, quinoa, mackerel. Yeah. Then I'm gonna have. Hold on, there's a dessert as well. Sweet potato pudding. I had this thing that my brother Shums gave me the other day, bro. Oh my gosh, sweet potato pudding. Yeah, that was fire. And that is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Drink? Did you say drink?
I don't mind if I do. Coconut water again. But I'm talking straight from the coconut. Like you see them like actual like you've been to Thailand, I saw
Yeah,
you
of
been to Thailand.
course.
Bro, those ones. Those ones.
Fairs. And last but not least, top five albums of all time.
Listening to a lot of D'Angelo recently, so D'Angelo, Voodoo, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, The Coming by Busta Rhymes, Get All Gospel by Gets, and there has to be one more. And this is where we end up. Oh my gosh. All right. It has to be a good one, man. Yo, I can't think here. I can't think, so it's gonna have to automatically be Grip Up now. Oh.
Oh, what a shame. You had to add one of your own.
Oh, man. It's been a good conversation, stuff.
No, thank you so much for chatting with me today.